Hi, my name is Ariana Alexander. For my final research project, I did the topic of GMOs, specifically looking at the involvement of government, major corporations, and its effects on consumers. I'll include my PowerPoint so you can look at it afterwards. For a brief overview, what are GMOs? GMOs are genetically modified organisms. It's when scientists take the genes from one organism and put it into another to either change or improve it. That can include seeds, foods, pesticides, all kinds of things. Here's a little timeline of when genetically modified foods were mass marketed, talking about them reaching the market in 1994. So not been around that long. A big question is, why are GMOs good? Why are they bad? Some positives are the crops are more sustainable, you get a larger yield, longer shelf life with these foods, and they're cheaper to produce. Some negatives is a huge one is people are really concerned about the long-term effects, since it's only been about 20 years that they've been on the market, and the tests really aren't out there to know what its effects are. So looking at world consumers in comparison, we have the United States, and the United States believes that a product is safe until proven harmful. So there are no regulations for GMO labeling in the United States right now. In Europe, they have the opposite idea, where object or product is harmful until proven otherwise, and they have regulations for their GMOs and their labeling, as does South Africa, who main concern is with citizens and their health. On a view from India, I have Dr. Vandana Shiva. She's an international activist talking about, in this little clip, GMOs and their effect of the corporations pushing out the farmers. And we have an issue of messing with the ecosystem, possible effects on the environment, and when we're manufacturing these new seeds and foods. So another view from Africa, I have some countries right here, and there are specific regulations on GMOs, and even though some of these countries are wanting aid, they will not accept, some of them will not accept GMO foods because of their possible health issues. So government involvement, my first talking point. Should the government be involved in the food industry? In South Africa, the government does require food labeling. So in the US, we have a study at Cornell University. The majority of Americans believe that the role of the government is to provide consumers with correct labeling. So that's not happening right now, but that is what the majority of Americans are wanting. Looking at my next talking point, corporation involvement. What is the food corporation's goal? Food corporation is just like any other corporations. They want to make money. Their main concern isn't the health of consumers. And right here is a whole list of food manufacturers and companies, and they don't want GMO labeling. In this book, The GMO Deception, it talks about the relationship between the government, corporations, and the safety of your family. So here's a little excerpt. Corporations engage in strategic planning as the essence of their quest for more revenue and profits. So their main priority is to make money, not your family's health. Speaking of food corporations, Monsanto is leading GMO food production company. It's an agricultural biotech company. They specialize in genetically modified seeds and herbicides. And this past year, Monsanto was actually sued for crimes against humanity and taken to court for the use of toxic chemicals. Right here is some rats from Monsanto, from some of their labs that they've done, and you can see that they have tumors. This is a movie about a mom that you can watch a trailer of, and she talks about the food corporation's involvement in public health, and is actually a GMO project to try to get more information out to the public. So effects on consumers, major ones are proven to cause cancer in rats and other lab animals, as you saw in the picture before. There's links found between obesity and GMOs, and this is a large market that's wanting to make money. The Dorito Effect is a great book talking about food becoming so overly processed that they're comparing blueberries, chicken breasts to a Dorito, the overly processed food. So this is to increase flavor and completely changing what the food was in that it was a century ago. So some arguments, the no GMO argument, main argument here, labeling. People just want to know whether or not a food is genetically modified so they can have the choice whether or not they want to buy that. The counter argument is that third world countries are now able to harvest in places where before it might have been infertile to produce those certain crops because of the climate, and now you're getting reliable crop yields and cheaper food. So here's another clip. A connection I made to Rachel Carson talks about the safety of the environment. I feel like this is history repeating itself. She's a woman before her time talking about the fact that man wasn't ready for this new technology, and I think that that's what's happening with the GMOs in my interpretation again. I think people need to inform themselves as much as possible to know what exactly they are buying in their food. Here's my bibliography, and thanks for listening.